Let's go back to the restoration of the Sabbath when Yeshua comes back. I mean, let's find out if this is true. If it's true in the garden, it has to be true for all time. In Isaiah 66:22, it says this, "For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, says Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain." In verse 23, "And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahweh." Now, the reason why this is so critical of a verse in Isaiah 66 is because this is when the Messiah is coming back. This is literally in the Messianic reign. This is the 1,000-year millennial reign of the Messiah. And during the millennial reign of the Messiah, he says right here that from one new moon to another and from one Sabbath to another, all flesh will worship him. So the question is begging, why would he even mention the word Sabbath or Shabbat in Hebrew here if there's no intention of the Sabbath being set apart or being holy? Zechariah 14 verse 16 says this, "And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left on the nations," now setting this up here real quick before we go back to it, is that Yeshua has just landed on the Mount of Olives, split it in two. Okay, so we are literally at the Day of Trumpets, the fall festivals where the Messiah comes back. He lands on the Mount of Olives, and he is beginning his millennial reign in Jerusalem. That's where Zechariah 14 is picking up. Verse 16, it says this, "And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King," Yeshua, "Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles." Keeping the Feast of Tabernacles in the millennium as well. "And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain." So we are seeing not only in Isaiah that we are going to be keeping the Shabbat, what's called the Shabbat or the Sabbath, the seventh-day Sabbath, but right here in the millennium in Zechariah 14, we have a more than a hint, more than a clue. We have a direct command that all of the nations of the world must come up for the Feast of Tabernacles, and they must honor the Lord's Sabbath. And this is the importance of this is because we see this in the garden, and the logic says that he never intended for it to go away to begin with. We see this in the end. We see this in the millennium, which goes on for 1,000 years. The only question of time that we're asking about is right now, in between those two moments of time. And that's what we're going to find out today by searching the Scriptures. Because ultimately, this is what we have. If we believe that the Sabbath is not for today, then we have this strange paradox. Because from 4000 BC to the time of Yeshua, Yahweh cares. God cares. Then from 30 AD to the present day, he doesn't care. And then when Yeshua comes back for the next 1,000 years, he cares again. Come and join us as we travel back in time 4,000 years ago to discover exactly where the holidays of Christmas, Easter, and even Valentine's Day come from. Why do we celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th? Whose birthday really is on December 25th? Where did we come up with December 25th? Where did the star on top of the Christmas tree come from? Where did the Christmas tree itself come from? Where did St. Nicholas come from? Are we sure that St. Nicholas even existed? Have you ever wondered where the famous phrase, ho, 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 comes from? It comes from the late 1600s when they used to have plays, and before the devil would come on stage, he would announce himself by saying, ho, ho, ho. Did you know that original Santa's elves weren't little guys that made toys? They were Krampus demons that would punish the children if they weren't good for that year, while St. Nicholas would give them gifts if they were good. Who is the Easter Bunny? Where did we get Easter eggs from? Why do we celebrate Easter on the first Sunday after the vernal equinox? Did you know that Christmas was illegal in the United States until the mid-1800s? Can we celebrate these holidays according to the Bible? This is by far the most popular video on the internet on the history of Christmas and Easter. This video has changed hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and it will change your life too.